So here we are. It's coming down to the wire. 2019 is about to close the books. 2020 is coming up. So I decided to do a Speaker of the Year. Now, the thing is, there have been many years of the years that I've been the Audiophiliac, which is 13 or 14 years. There wasn't always an Audiophiliac Speaker of the Year. Some years I just skipped because I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it enough to have a Speaker of the Year. But this year was different because I didn't have just one or two Speaker of the Years. This year is special. This year has 3 Speakers of the Year. That's never happened before. And that's pretty special. Oh, before I get down to that, though, I do want to tell you, a guy comes up to me the other day. I was in a hi-fi store, Stereo Exchange in New York City, and he says he's from Lithuania, and he says, "Steve, you're really big in Lithuania." And I was like, "I am? Really? Wow, that's fantastic. You made my day." And I kept thinking about it. I shook his hand. We did some selfies. Who knew? Who knew that I was big in Lithuania? My wife says she's going to make a T-shirt that says, "I'm big in Lithuania." So we'll see if that happens. But in any case, I'm big in Lithuania, and thank you to everyone in Lithuania who watches the Audiophiliac Daily Show. But let's get back to the Speaker of the Year. Now, the first of the 3, the least expensive of the 3 Speaker of the Year candidates, is the Magnepan LRS, the little ribbon speaker. So it is a full-range ribbon speaker. It does not have a dome tweeter. It doesn't have cone drivers. It is a flat panel speaker. It's 1.25 inches thick. It's about 48 inches high. It's made in the USA. It is $649, and it blew my mind when I first heard it because it looks exactly like the model that it replaces, the Magnepan MMG. But this new one, the LRS, is far more transparent, clear, open, spacious, and big. I mean, there's no other speaker at that price range that has the sense of openness and clarity and just size that's closer. The music sounds closer to life size. That's what I'm trying to say. It is more like being there. Now, yes, it carries the usual caveats about Magnepans. They need to be placed well out into the room. I would say 3 feet is a good starting point. They need a good amplifier, something that can deliver some current. And the least expensive way of doing that is with the Schiit Vidar $699 amplifier. But anyway, the LRS is really a game changer for that kind of money. So I was and remain super excited about that speaker. Now the next Speaker of the Year is more expensive. It is the KEF R3. Now the KEF R3 is I would say a large bookshelf or stand mount speaker. It is a 3-way design. It has a KEF UniQ driver, a 5-inch UniQ driver, meaning there's a 5-inch mid-range with a 1-inch dome tweeter in the center of that mid-range. And then below that is a 6.5-inch woofer. It's bi-wireable, but the big thing, the first thing, just in terms of talking about the speaker before I tell you about its sound, is it feels incredibly well made for a $2,000 a pair speaker. The cabinet is inert, it is solid, it's beautifully finished. It looks and feels like a much more expensive speaker. It actually feels kind of shooting distance to the higher end model up from that, the KEF reference. So I am very psyched about it. Now in terms of what it sounds like, well, first impression when you hear the R3 is that it sounds big because it has a weight to the sound. Not that the bass goes super, super low. It just has a fullness, a richness that I really liked. Tone, vocals, just really, really extraordinary. And then there's the imaging. It's a UniQ speaker, a UniQ mid-range tweeter design. So the imaging is very crisp and nicely delineated, very spacious, soundstage depth. It kind of checks all those boxes of what you would want out of a speaker like this, right? Actually, I don't have any criticisms of it. Actually, I have nothing nothing to say that it's lacking in. It's pretty much exactly what I would want from a speaker in that price and size. Oh, and by the way, I will link to my reviews of these speakers in the description box directly below where there's more information. But anyway, rounding out the trio of Speaker of the Year candidates is the speaker I reviewed very, very recently, the Klipsch Cornwall IV. This is a big speaker. It's a very, very large speaker. And I just have going through this period where I love speakers with big drivers. It has a 15-inch woofer. This fascination started when I did the review of or discussed the Tannoy Arden, which was a speaker from the 70s. It's back in production, but I listened to one that was made in the 70s a while back and had a 15-inch concentric driver, and it just moved air. It had the ability to really energize a room in ways that smaller speakers don't. And that led to some other speakers with really big drivers. More recently, I reviewed the Pure Audio Project Trio 15 that has 4 15-inch drivers, and that was really a very satisfying experience. And then I reviewed the Harbeth 40.2. Now that doesn't have a 15-inch driver, I think it was 12, but that's a much bigger speaker than the R3. It's a big speaker. It has that big speaker power that I'm obsessed with at the moment, right? So then there's the Klipsch Cornwall IV. It's big. It's a very imposing speaker, although it's only 38 inches high. It has that 15-inch woofer. It has a Tractrex compression-loaded horn mid-range. It has a Tractrex tweeter, compression tweeter. It does dynamics and power delivery like nothing I've had in this room before. It's $6,000 a pair. That's a lot of money. I think it's worth it. It's made in the US. Now, the thing is, can't swing $6,000 for a Cornwall IV. I have a backup plan for you, a Cornwall III. Now, since the IV just came out, prices for Cornwall IIIs are going down, and I looked around just quickly and I saw they're going for around $3,500, $3,600 a pair. That's really good, and even less. So, can't swing 6, get a Cornwall III for around $3,500. That's good. Or you could get a Cornwall II. Now that goes back a ways when it was made, but Cornwall IIs are going for, again, I just checked really quickly, around $900 a pair. So we're getting into the pretty reasonable price ranges. Now, does it sound like the new one? Does the 2 sound like the 3 or the 3 sound like the 4? I can't tell you. I didn't compare them. But I can say it has that same basic driver configuration. So in terms of having that kind of heft and power delivery, the 1 or the 2 or the 3 should be worthwhile checking out if you're looking for that out of your sound. You want more info? Yeah, I got it. It's already done. It's in the reviews I posted this year of the Magnepan LRS, the KEF R3, and the Klipsch Cornwall IV. So we're circling around the end here. So my name is Steve Guttenberg. This is very much the Audiophiliac Daily Show, coming to you 5 or 6 days a week at this point. If you dig it, please subscribe. Hit that button right down there. And when you do, you'll have an option there of doing some things. But hit the bell. There's a bell that comes up. And if you hit that bell, that means you'll be notified when there's a new episode coming up. Then what else can you do? Well, you can follow me on Twitter if that's your thing, Twitter, and that can be found at Audiophiliac Man. You can follow me on Instagram at steve.guttenberg, and check out the playlist. I mean, there's playlists of lots and lots of speaker reviews and headphone reviews and amplifier reviews and music reviews, all kinds of really good stuff there. And what else? Well, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/audiophiliac. And I almost forgot to mention, so we're coming up to the end of the year, coming up to I hope 100,000 subscribers, actually probably not the end of this year, probably in early 2020. But I have a very, very special guest planned, and I can't say their name just yet because I don't want to, it's not 100% nailed down, and so I don't want to say it and it falls through. I'm going to look like a dope, right? But you won't be disappointed because this person doesn't do a lot of interviews, and they're a big deal in the high-end audio world. So I hope that comes to pass, and that'll happen when I hit 100,000 views. I'm assuming in early 2020. So we're done. The sirens are coming. Time for me to say goodbye. So if you like what I'm doing, check this out. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/audiophiliac. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you again real soon.